Hello. Okay, what I would like us to do this lesson is have a look at how to answer a 9-mark question. When you did your recent SAR, it became really evident that quite a lot of you are not so good at answering the questions for which you're going to get 9 or 6 marks. So we need to do a little bit of practice at this. And we are going to have a look at a question that reflects the work we've been doing in lessons and looks at the different opportunities that are available in London. So let's have a little look at the question that we're going to have a go at. So this is a typical kind of question that you would get on the exam paper. So it says, to what extent does a city in a HIC you have studied provide social and economic opportunities to the people who live there? Now, we need to be able to understand what this question is asking us to do. And like a lot of these questions that you get on this exam paper, it's asking you for your opinion on something. And that's what this bit is, this to what extent. This means by how much, okay? So this city that we've been studying, how many opportunities does it offer to the people who live there, okay? It needs to be a city in a HIC, so it needs to be a city in a wealthy country, and we've been looking at London, okay? It's asking about social and economic opportunities. So by social opportunities, that's to do with your life and how you are living it, and economic is all about how you are making money. So we're going to be thinking about access to entertainment, the different kind of jobs available, what the quality of life for people might be there. And then finally, the question is asking us about the people who live there. So that means we need to consider all different types of people. So we might think about their age, their ethnicity, or their education level. Now, when you are trying to answer a 9-mark question, in order to do well, there are certain things that you need to try and do, okay? You will always or usually have to give your opinion, okay? The question will usually ask you what you think about something. And so you would then start off your answer by saying what you think and then presenting your evidence to back that up, okay? You need to name your case study. If you don't name your case study and keep referring back to it and make it obvious that you are writing about a real place that you have studied, you can't get out of level 2, okay? It doesn't matter how good your answer is, how perfect your geography. If you don't name your case study, you are stuck at a level 2 answer, and the most you will be able to get is 6 out of 9. If you can, try to write about 3 things, okay? A 9-mark answer should ideally have 3 paragraphs, okay? However, you know yourself, you know how hard or easy you find geography, how hard or easy you find it to remember lots of things. So if you know that there is no way you're going to be able to walk into that exam knowing all of these different case studies and knowing 3 things about all of them, then just learn 1, because it is way, way better the way it's marked to write about 1 thing very well than 3 things badly. Okay, if you write about 3 things badly and your answer isn't very detailed in that way, the most you will get is 3 out of 9. However, if you write about just 1 thing and you write about it very well, you can get 4 or 5 marks out of 9, okay? So let's have a look at how we would answer this question, okay? And what I have done with these colours is to try to show you where the answer is hitting the question, okay? So this would be my introduction to this question. So we've got Shoreditch in London provides many social and financial opportunities, but they are not equally available to all of the people who live there. So in this introduction, straight away, I am saying what my case study is, okay? My city in a HIC, I'm looking at Shoreditch in London. And I'm also doing this to what extent. I have said that it provides many social and financial opportunities, but they're not equally available to everybody. Okay, so that is my extent. I'm saying, yes, there's lots of opportunity, but not everybody can access them. Not everybody can get those jobs, okay? When I've written my introduction, I'm then going to write about 3 different things, okay, and this is what I'm going to focus on. I'm going to look at the social opportunities of Shoreditch with the cafes and the bars and the restaurants, okay, things like the Serial Killer Cafe in the Brick Lane area. I am going to look at the financial opportunities that are provided by the Silicon Roundabout and tech industry which have been built up. And the third thing I'm going to look at is what impact this has had on the original working class people that have lived in the area and the Bangladeshi community around Brick Lane. Okay, so here is my first paragraph. So we have got Shoreditch has a thriving cafe culture as well as lots of bars and restaurants, especially around the Brick Lane area. This provides many opportunities for people to go out and meet friends. Lots of these businesses have opened as a result of the gentrification of the area, for example, the Serial Killer Cafe, and are aimed at young, well-paid professionals. This means that many of the older working class people feel pushed out of the area. Okay, let's have a look at this paragraph. First of all, let's have a look at this word gentrification, which I have highlighted. We have talked about gentrification in lessons, but just to remind you, when we talk about an area getting gentrified, we mean when young, well-paid professional people move into an area that was previously working class and run down. And we see that a lot in the East End of London, okay? So the East End of London was traditionally very working class, factories, warehouses, and it was run down, it was cheap, okay? Young, well-paid professional people have started to move into those areas. It's got trendy, there's cafes and there's bars, there's things like the Serial Killer Cafe opening up. Now, as a positive, this improves the area, it makes it nicer, okay, there's more money in the area, but it also means that the original residents get pushed out because the prices all go up, rent goes up, and those working class people can no longer afford to be there. So gentrification is good on the one hand that it improves an area, but it's bad on the other hand in that it doesn't solve the problems of poverty. It just pushes the poverty out, pushes it somewhere else, okay? Right, let's have a little look at the answer itself and how we're hitting the different parts of the question. So the green shows us where we are using our case study. It's a real place we've studied. We've named Shoreditch again, we've talked about the Brick Lane area, and we've mentioned the Serial Killer Cafe, okay? We have got to what extent, because I've said that it provides many opportunities, but I've also said that the other people, the working class people, feel pushed out. So that is showing, like I said in my introduction, yes, there are these opportunities, there's loads of them, but not everybody can get them, okay? I've said what the social opportunities are, that there's bars and there's restaurants and that people can go out and meet their friends. And then with the people who live there, well, I'm talking about 2 different types of people in this paragraph. I've mentioned the young, well-paid professionals, the university graduates, and I've also mentioned the original, older, working class people. Okay, so in this paragraph, we are hitting all of these different parts of the question. And just this paragraph on its own would probably get 4 marks, okay? So you can see in writing one paragraph well, you get out of level 1 and you get into level 2 and you get 4 marks out of 9, which, you know, isn't a bad mark really. Right, let's go on and look a bit further at what you could go on and then write to try and gain more marks. Okay, so this next paragraph is about the opportunities provided by the ICT that's grown up in the area. So let's have a look at it. There's been a large change in the jobs available in Shoreditch. In the 1980s, it was a rundown area with factories and warehouses that were struggling to make money. Today, there are lots of ICT and technology firms, especially around an area known as Silicon Roundabout. There are small independent companies as well as the UK headquarters of Apple and Google. This has provided lots of well-paying jobs for educated university graduates. Many of the old warehouses have been converted into offices and expensive loft apartments, providing good working and living spaces. Okay, so this paragraph is all about the positives and the opportunities. Again, we are showing that we are using our case study. because we've mentioned Shoreditch again, okay? And then we've talked about real things that are in Shoreditch. We've talked about the Silicon Roundabout area and the different companies that have set up. We've got a little bit of extent because I've said it's got lots of well-paying jobs, okay? We have talked about some of the people who live there. We're talking about educated university graduates, those young professionals again. And we've got lots of examples of the economic and social opportunities. Okay, so we have got the jobs for an economic opportunity. We've got jobs here again, economic opportunity, and we've got good living spaces. Okay, so a social opportunity. Okay, so again, in this paragraph, we're hitting lots and lots of these bits that the question wants us to. There's not quite so much extent because that's what we go on to in the next paragraph, where we look at the negatives. So this has very much looked at the positives. It said, yeah, there's loads of opportunity. And now in this next paragraph, we're going to look at how those opportunities aren't equal for everybody, which takes us back to our original introduction. If you can remember in that original introduction, we said, yes, loads of opportunities, but not everybody gets them. So moving on to the final one, we have got, this has not been good for everyone. The influx of well-paid young professionals and business has meant that rent prices have risen by a large amount. This means that many people who have always lived in the area are priced out. Jobs have been created, but many of them are not suitable for factory and warehouse workers that have lost their jobs as they don't have the skills or qualification. Brick Lane has a large Bangladeshi population, and there can be a clash of cultures between traditional Muslim communities and young people who want to go out in the bars. This can cause tensions in the area. Okay, so if we look at this for just one final time, we have got our city in a HIC example because we're still talking about Brick Lane. We've got our to what extent because we've said it's not good for everyone. We're talking about different groups of people who live there again. We're talking about the Bangladeshi population, the Muslim communities, young people. We've also got here the factory and warehouse workers, okay, the people who originally lived there. And then we have got a lot of stuff about the opportunities. But in this case, instead of it being opportunities that people can get, it's a reason why they're they can't have those opportunities. We're talking about people being priced out. We're talking about how the new jobs in technology and media are not suitable for those factory and warehouse workers that have lost their jobs because they can't access them. They haven't got the qualifications or the skills. You know, you're not going to work in a warehouse driving a forklift truck one day and then the next day get a job with Apple. Okay, you haven't got the skills to access it. And then with social and with the social opportunities, we're talking about the clash of culture. So again, that's a negative, isn't it? Saying, yeah, great, these young people are moving into the area and they go out and they party and they have a great time. But that is happening in an area which has traditionally been a Bangladeshi Muslim community. And then obviously you can get that clash of cultures, can't you? Where you've got, young people going out, drinking alcohol, being loud, versus a more traditional community. So hopefully you can see from this how you can try and answer one of these questions. And what you need to keep doing all the time is looking back at what the question is asking you and thinking to yourself, who do I need to be writing about? Where am I writing about? And what is the question asking of me? Okay. So what I would like you to do now is, again, maybe read through the PowerPoint, read through my answer. There's a copy of it in files and class materials on Teams. And then I would like you to have a go at simply writing your own answer to the question. Maybe have this screen in front of you and have a go at answering it without looking back at mine. Okay, if you need to look back at mine to help you, then please obviously do, but try to do it without and just have a go at putting into that structure, okay? You could also write about slightly different things. You could write about the jobs in media rather than the jobs in technology. It's up to you, but give it a go. If you're doing this at home, fill it in on the assignment and hand it in on Teams and I will give you some feedback on it. Okay, thanks for your time, and message me with any problems that you might have in understanding this. Okay, see you later. Bye.